attended countless meetings like this. Although it's very important we do these things don't tend to make a lasting impact. And I'm going to tell you that how I managed to change the course of history in an entirely different way in my local community. In 2005, our local council decided that it would be a good idea to build a skateboard park, on one of the last remaining green parts of the village, just opposite the War Memorial and the church. Now, I, along with others, decided that we did not want a graffiti-daubed skate park with floodlighting just across the road from the village green. So we embarked upon a campaign to stop it. And by a constant stream of letters and of knocking at doors and of phoning up journalists, we managed to stop the scheme. During the campaign, I actually found myself in the middle of a somewhat bad-tempered correspondence with the usually very good-natured council chief executive, an officer who is meant to be a neutral executor of policy. But I did feel that he was acting as an advocate of the scheme, that the scheme had such official weight behind it that it was a David and Goliath battle, and that they wanted to impose this particular scheme. So in order to overturn this, I had to mobilise opinion, as I've just told you, but also we managed to find a private planning consultant who was able to see things in the plan that none of us could see. And as a result of the intervention, the money we had to raise to pay for this service, the private planning consultant delivered a very legalistic set of observations and comments about the scheme, and that was enough to torpedo the whole idea. So what I'm trying to say to you is that we cannot possibly, as a group, change the course of the European Union or what's happening at Britain's borders. But I believe that we can make a difference on cultural and environmental things at local level, as I have shown in the case of the defeat of this particular scheme. We need to pick our topics and our subjects very, very carefully, because within a few years you will all be demoralised at the fact you haven't changed the world. But if you pick topics that you can influence, principally locally, I believe that the Traditional Britain group will have a momentum which will grow and which will achieve the sort of outcome that you are looking for. And I say this because the Danish People's Party has adopted that very strategy. They have picked local and community anxieties and problems, and they have mobilised opinion on both the left and the right of Danish society, and they have worked from the bottom upwards to the extent that they're not a government, but they are able to hold the balance of power over many important things in Denmark. And I think that their model of activity is very encouraging and very successful. And if you, as traditionalists, want to achieve something in Britain, I believe that the Danish way is the way that you should follow. I might also tell you about another success that I was able to play some part in. It's another planning issue. A local, well, not a local, a developer wanted to develop a local site in my district, and they told us that it was to be an exciting new scheme. A jagged, triangular topped slab, which would be stuffed into the middle of a place called Larkfield, which is a village nearby. And it was just a repetition of the discredited, ugly, inhuman and out-of-place trend of 60s and 70s modernism. We were able to put forward numerous letters and letters of opposition to this, and we were able to stop this going ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, these things can be done. And I believe that the traditional Britain group could achieve a great deal in this cultural battle. We could take a lead in opposing the hideous alien skyline which is emerging in London and across urban Britain, the science fiction structures of Richard Rogers' ghastly, gleaming, yet monstrous new city of London, and the attempts to build crumpled heaps of metal at the side of the Victoria and Albert Museum. So, we have a chance, I believe, to make inroads into policy, but mainly at local level. But I believe there is a chance that we may be able to change voting habits. I believe that we should vote to change the electoral system. It will weaken the hold which habitual party allegiances have over the people. And it may encourage a disillusioned, lifelong Conservative to give his second preference vote to the UK Independence Party. Or it may encourage a lifelong Labour voter, living in the middle of Islamic Lancashire, to vote for a party committed to halting immigration. It may encourage, too, a greater vote for the Green Party. And I think that this is another example of how green politics can act as a factor of change in this country, because it was the successful campaign against the government's knockdown sale of England's ancient woodlands which caused such a huge outcry. And it was that potential for people power, as it were, working through the new forms of the media and social networking, but also at grassroots level, once again, that change was able to happen. And I believe that it is this sort of true localism which we should be working with and embracing, which will speed the course towards a more traditional Britain. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening today, and I wish you every success. Thank you.